Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast instant match reaction. We wait an hour now because it takes a lot longer to get out the stadium and stuff. We'll wait an hour. Welcome to Toffee Bluecast instant match reaction. Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1. Paul, how are we doing?
Doing very good. I wasn't doing so good after about an hour, thinking it was going to go sideways, but one or two changes and a little bit more grit, determination, and we saw our boys turn it around a little bit.
Yeah, it was a mad game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you got stuff to say, so do get your comments in. It's live on X now. I'm just going to retweet it on X, live on Facebook as well. We just want to know how you feel after the game, and get it in the comments how you feel. We'll gather up all what people are thinking, and then we'll let you crack on with your night. But yeah, it's really bad start for me in that game. Really, really bad start, and I wanted Alcaraz to start. For me, I think that's something I will point out is that I wanted Alcaraz to start in the 10 position. Because I think that Juice Bjorn's been fantastic, and I can see why Alcaraz hasn't got in, because Juice Bjorn is fantastic. But I do believe that if Juice Bjorn can't play, that Alcaraz should get that game, because Alcaraz's position is the number 10. Maybe he can play deeper sometimes in James Garner's position, but a lot of the time when Alcaraz has come to us last season, played in the 10, he did score goals. We now, because we've got more players, we've moved Alcaraz on. We moved him on to the right sometimes of the front three, and he's played on the right. And I think sometimes he's looked like he probably needed to be in the 10 position then. And I just believe that this is the moment Alcaraz has been waiting for him to start and be the 10, and he wasn't even starting. I'm not sure why, because I actually really do like Alcaraz. I rate him a lot. But I know there's good players ahead of him. But when those good players ahead of him ain't available, I really don't see why Alcaraz wasn't playing today. So we had the formation of, we had Grealish and Jai in the 10, which some of us have, even I've said it, he might be good in that position. It's mad because when Njai's played in the 10 a lot of times, he hasn't ticked the boxes in that position. I don't know why. He played in the 10 when he first come to us, and we moved him then to the left, and he was a lot better on the left than what he was in the 10. This was his moment to show that he could play in the 10. I don't think he did a really good job in that position personally. And I love Njai, by the way. Everyone knows that. He's a goat. He just wasn't what we needed in that position. And then Tyler Diblin on the right wasn't what we needed in that position either. And I am excited. We have won this, by the way, but we've still got to identify what we've seen that first half, because let's not beat around the bush. If Crystal Palace was on it, they could have been 2-3-0 up before we actually come into the game. So it was a dreadful watch. I don't know what you're going to say, Paul, but up until we actually brought the players on, for me, until we actually put the players on that we wanted, probably, some of us, second half, we were shocking. I mentioned Alcaraz should have started. Beto didn't do enough last game to warrant the start, so I can see why Barry started. But once again, when Barry started, he was a very lost man. He just wasn't good enough for me. I know he's young and you can't jump on these young talents and stuff like that, but we do need a striker that's ready. And the difference between Mateta and Barry that first half, it was light and day. It's a night and day, I tell you, bloody hell. What was your thoughts on this, Paul? There's a lot of wrong, wasn't there, first half?
Yeah. But lineup wise, I think I tweeted, I'm surprised that Moyes went with what he did, but I'm glad that he did, because it showed intent. It showed us wanting to try and get Diblin involved. And I thought he did all right, but he did lose his way a little bit. But us as a team, we weren't there. I don't think we had enough grit about us. I thought Palace played really well. They'll be really disappointed they didn't get anything out of today. I think they passed it well. I thought the lads up front, for them, were good, but we held them off. The key moments in the game, obviously, were we're 1-0 down, but we were all over the place come sort of the 50 to 60 minute mark. And, Pickford made a few saves and we got a few blocks in. But that chance Mateta had when he's about 8 yards out and he passes it and it goes outside the post. That was the turning point for me, because it's one of those where you think, well, they go 2-0 up and then it's over. And it just felt as though then we just pulled our socks up a little bit. The two lads who came on, obviously Beto and Alcaraz came on for Barry, who tried his best. I just think he needs to bulk up a little bit, to be honest. Nothing stuck with him, really. He tried his best, but he just wasn't sticking. So Beto, when he came on, he was barging everyone out of the way and everything and winning the ball back for us. So he did a decent job. And like I say, Diblin just needs more time, I think, and have a bit of a think where his best position is as well. But Alcaraz was brilliant when he came on. If anything, he was the sort of driving force, because he didn't slow anything down at all. So when we were on the attack, everyone was rushing forward, which was good. When we didn't have the ball, Alcaraz was one of the people setting the trend and setting the example and chasing things down. And that's how we gradually got ourselves back into the game. And perfect example is the penalty, because I think if we hadn't had those changes, if we hadn't had that change of mentality, I don't think Rubenham would have made the run as high up as he did. I think he just would have stood back and see what happens. But the fact that he's pushing up and he's making, that run into the box to try and get that ball back is the reason that we got the penalty in the first place. He wasn't even in possession of it before, obviously, the defender sort of gave it away a little bit. So that change in attitude sort of around the hour mark, 70-minute mark, that was key. And then anything could have happened then. Absolutely anything. It was a bit of a free-for-all.
You can see your comments, London. I am putting your comments on the screen. Emma's had a legendary cheeseburger after the game. Last-minute tickets. He did get to go. Emma's singing the blues. Rod Ross is in the house. Liam's in the house. Tommy's in the house. Do you know what, though? For me, I think that we need... I've said this loads. I like a lot of these new players with personality and fight. I think in these games like Crystal Palace, you've got to be up for the fight, because they're in your face and they're all over you and there's no space. And I think you've got to be up for the fight and you've got to go head-to-head to fight with them to beat them. And I believe that Dewsbury Hall, looking at him, I think he's going to be class in the future, but he wants it to his feet and he wants to do a bit of fancy stuff. And he didn't want to fight and smash the team up, for me. And I think the same with Njai in the middle. I think Alcaraz is a player that does like to fight, Paul. We need these fight. Dewsbury Hall is one as well, by the way. We missed him loads today, that first half. Dewsbury Hall gets us going. I think we just needed players to get us going that lead that line, because although a lot of people, I know Decore was clumsy, but Decore he set the press off. He got us going. And you needed that one person in the middle of the park to just go past someone or just run past someone and say, I'm going to beat you. And I seen that moment happen when Alcaraz come on. It must have been in the first 5 minutes where Alcaraz just turned the player, ran past him, and then ran at the defence. And then you think, yes, we won it. Just that Alcaraz did that thing to say, you know what? These players want to win. And I didn't see that first half, because I was seeing us... There's nothing against Diblin, but I was seeing us play it into Diblin's feet, and because they play with wing-backs that we mentioned in the pre-match, Diblin's he's running into a brick wall. And it was the same with Jack Grealish first half, because they're so good with their fullbacks, and they're one of the best at it. Our wingers was ineffective. So Diblin was ineffective. Jack Grealish was the first half for me. But the moment we put a bit of spice in the middle, bringing Alcaraz on to spice the middle up, it gave them something else to think about. And we had a different route of being effective. And I felt like we was a lot stronger through the middle, Paul. And you could see Alcaraz causing them a bit of damage through the middle. And you could see Warrington getting turned, who's fantastic, by the way. But we did look more threatening that second half. It changed completely with those subs. Barry, like you said, I completely agree. I think Barry needs to bulk up. I really do. He looks like he's going to be massive in the future. And it's one of these, like, we're not good with young players because we moaned about Lookman, and then with time, Lookman ended up a bit class. You know what I mean? He just needed time. We moaned about Moise Keane, and Moise Keane smashed it later on. I'm not saying Barry's going to be a shit player, by the way. I think Barry in 4 or 5 years' time, when he bulks up, will probably be like he'll be like Mateta. He'll be big, strong, and he'll be used to the Premier League. But at this moment in time, he hasn't got the passion for me when he was on. He hasn't got you can see his face. He hasn't got the grit. Now, when Beto come on, I know Beto's clumsy, and sometimes his clumsiness can get you a goal like it did early on. But when Beto come on, he's got character. He was pumping the crowd like, come on. And he come on and he put himself about. And I think Beto was on a mission for me because he knew he played shit last game. And I think he knew he needed to make up. And him getting dropped pumped him up to come on second half and say, I've got to earn my position back. And I think Beto was really good second half as well. I think Alcaraz and Beto, they come on and they made a difference. And it really did help us.
Yeah. The thing with Barry is that I think he's a slightly different player than Beto as well. I think apart from the weight, he hasn't learned the tricks yet to create that little bit of space as soon as the ball comes into him. He's too close to the defender. He's not getting away from the defender, and he's just getting muscled out of the ball. So either he bulks up and holds off a defender, or he starts learning the tricks that can give him that little bit of space. If you look back to the first goal that we scored at Hill Dickinson, in that move, Barry created a little bit of space where he held the ball up, and the defenders that day for Brighton weren't as strong as Palace are generally today. Tons of people said 2-1.
Yeah, did say I was thinking as well.
Yeah, but he hasn't done it on a consistent basis, so he's got work to do. I just hope he doesn't sort of see his arse like Lookman was. Lookman was very much like, well, why aren't I be picked and all this sort of stuff. Lookman isn't any good until now. He's gone off to Italy and then obviously done well with Atalanta. Barry could do very well, I think, but he's got to be patient. He has got to be patient, and you can see the difference now. Maybe today was a good example, seeing the difference between Beto and Barry, because the way we're playing, we're not quick enough in passing for Barry to be the preferred. If we were doing that, if it was sort of one touches and everything else, I think Barry would be more nimble and be able to create a little bit more and possibly get on the end of a chance. But we're not playing.
Should have scored as well, Paul, couldn't he?
Yeah.
James Garner, cracking ball for James Garner, and I think if that was better, we'd all be screaming our heads off. So I don't see why.
Potentially, potentially. I mean, Gay did a decent job. Gay did a decent job, but yes, if he was a little bit stronger, he might have got a shin on that. But I think it was clear where we are with the Barry. Whether you like Beto or you prefer Barry, I think the strength difference between them was pretty obvious today.
It's mad with Alcaraz though, because it's a really weird situation. Because last season with Alcaraz, I was like, he's like Tim Cahill. I was saying we've got a player in. I was begging that we signed Alcaraz, because we had Decore in the number 10, and the upgrade that Alcaraz was from Decore. I was really excited, thinking, yes, I've got Alcaraz in my 10, and I was really excited for Alcaraz this season. But then we went and signed someone just as good in Dewsbury Hall, if not even better. Well, he is better because he's been starting. So it's a really weird situation, I think, that you've got two number 10s that you want to play. And I think that's the weird thing, Paul, isn't it? Like, you don't... Like, you'd be happy to start Alcaraz and you'd be happy to start Dewsbury Hall. So it is a little bit of a weird one there to keep both of them happy, isn't it? And know who to start out of two.
But I think both of them are quite versatile, to be honest. I think they've just been their best games have been in that position. That's all. So I think you can cater for both of them, but I don't think. I think both of them are very, very good in the 10, and I think they could play anywhere else. But there's other people you prefer in those positions. That's all it is. So we've probably got a good sort of six or seven midfielders where we're playing five. So it's about the two that would sit out, really. I think it's probably a bit. I was going to say probably a bit harsh saying that he's uninterested. I think he just wasn't getting a sniff. I think he's just frustrated. But it's not like he wasn't trying.
Well,
I just don't.
Here's one for you then. Here's one for you. Are we just trying to be nice? Like, take away all your sentimental stuff where you just want, where you're trying to be. Because as Everton fans, although people give us stick and say we give players grief, we don't. We actually really do we really do believe in that player and want him to be the fairy tale player. But let's just come away from that. Imagine I'm not an Everton fan right now and all that sentiment stuff of wanting a player to do well. Is that a bad spend for Everton? 30 million on Barry? Like, it cost 30 million. There was strikers about that probably could have been more proven. I did say, and this is why I say take away the sentiment. I did say when I looked like I was watching Barry, I watched him international and I watched him before and I watched some of his clips. And a lot of the time when he got in front of the goal, he didn't have that, do you know, where they've got that instinct pull where they just finish everything, one chance and they finish. Like that chance that Barry had back of the net. When I watched him, sometimes he'd get the ball and his shots would be so soft at the keeper and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he wasn't criminal in front of goal. He wasn't like dangerous in front of goal. I watched Voltemada for Newcastle. I know it cost 95 million. But you know when he gets a chance around goal, he's going to score. Barry doesn't look confident around goal. And I think when you pay 30 million for a striker, I know he's young, but you'd like him to have a bit more. He just doesn't seem like he's got that personality pull where he looks cocky personality where he thinks he's going to smash teams up and score. Do you know where you can see in a player, Paul, where he's got that personality where he's look at Vardy, shit ass. You can see he's going to make you pay if you give him
arrogance.
A chance. Yeah, arrogance, exactly. And it doesn't look like Barry's got that arrogance. I'm not jumping on him, but we are allowed to say what we see. And at the minute, I think for the price we paid for him, because we knew that the striker that we needed to bring in needed to be good. Calvert-Lewin left. All we had was Beto. We got rid of Shamiti. So it was massive that we brought in the right striker. And Barry,
but I see
behind him, but I'm not confident.
Yeah, I see Barry a little bit like Calvert-Lewin before Calvert-Lewin bulked up a bit and had a decent season 5 years ago. You know, I don't think either of them hit the ball very hard. I'm even sort of seeing Calvert-Lewin for Leeds now. He still doesn't strike the ball like hard, does he? If you watch, and people might not have seen, but watch Marlon's second goal tonight for Villa. They beat who did they beat today? They beat Burnley 2-1 today, and the goal just came up while the game was on, and it's just a sort of split second strike, but it's hit hard, hit low, and hit in the corner. There was a clip going around of us playing Blackburn years ago when Rooney was playing for us, and he was very, when he was young, and he just it's one touch, it bounces and hits it on the half volley and hits it hard. You know, I see Barry like DCL in that he doesn't have that strike in him, but maybe Cavalier weight, but Barry doesn't have the weight yet, and it's stark stark difference between Barry and Beto, because Barry doesn't seem to be able to hold himself off against defenders.
I want a striker to have a thunderbolt in him. I do. Duran is a good example. Duran, do you know Duran who went from Villa and went? Yeah. Duran, he's what you want. Like, you get him in front of goal. He's got a rocket from outside the box. You That's what you want. You want a striker where you think your striker can score from the edge of the box, never mind from in the box, and he's dangerous. He is a goal scorer. We've had good strikers. We've had Lukaku. Lukaku was just, you're not going to get him again. He was something else. But even Andy Johnson used to be able to smash goals in.
I tell you what,
smash goals in. We've had some strikers.
Yeah.
Jelic would smash goals in. I don't feel confident. I hate that we've got such a good team now, and that we haven't got ourselves a number 9 that we can say, yeah, we like him, we love him, we're confident in him. But these two at the minute, they're not making me confident.
No, I tell you, even just a slight example, right? And it sounds daft, this, but Keane had 2 shots second half before he went off. One was blocked, but the strike on it, I mean, like, he caught it, right? And it comes off the defender back to him, and he's off balance. And then his other strike goes wide. But, I mean, it's a proper strike, do you know what I mean? He gets his foot through it. You don't see Beto or Barry even having that, you know? All the shots that they tend to have, say all the shots they tend to have, if they have any shots, they're either sort of hit down into the ground and bobble, or they're kind of scuffed. There's never a sort of like a proper absolute drive through the ball. And that's something that at the moment sticks in my mind. Because again, today we've scored a penalty and Jack Grealish has scored. And a cracking header, I've got to say, cracking header by Beto, by the way. He did absolutely textbook right things. He's middle of the goal, heads it. As he couldn't have got his head any further back and then head it straight down. And there's a good save. And then obviously Grealish is there. So, you know, once again, our strikers haven't scored.
Which was the other? There was another good save by their goalkeeper, fingertips. It was just, who did he tip it over from? What's that?
Henderson.
Yeah, tipped it over. There was another good save. I can't remember which shot it was. He just fingertipped it over. We was getting a few shots in. Good goalkeeper, to be fair. He is a good. I mean, we spoke with a Crystal Palace fan before the show.
Yeah,
I think Pickford made some fantastic saves for us first half, and I think their goalkeeper made some good saves as well. Pickford kept us in it first half. Don't forget that either.
He did. And the thing was, even when like that Mateta chance that we said, where he sort of passed it wide,
Pickford, it was the Alcaraz shot.
Oh, but yeah. Pickford was clever. He showed his class because he didn't completely commit himself. I thought, oh, here we go. Here's a penalty coming. But he was proper sound and clever about it, and actually stayed on his feet and then forced whoever it was, who then had to come back inside. And then we got a block off, and obviously then it goes to Mateta and then goes wide. So he again had a cracking game. I have got the scores. I mean, it's flash score, so take what you will. But these are some of the ratings that have been suggested today, rightly or wrongly.
What do you think of James? I meant to have mentioned him. I thought O'Brien was really good second half as well. He got a header on target. He put everything he could into it. He seemed to be on the move as well. O'Brien, you could tell he was against his ex-club today. He was on a mission, and I thought he played really well. He moved centre back later on, so didn't get much attacking chances. But I thought
I thought he played well. But I also think, in a quirk of fate, Keane going off actually helped us, because I thought when Garner went to right back, we actually had a little bit more of the control of the ball, and we were actually able to start things a little bit better. There was plenty of times that, say, O'Brien in that position would have chipped it, sort of trying to get Beto's feet or something like that. But Garner didn't. He hardly did that. You know, it was all, we win the ball back and then we go short and then switch it and stuff like that. So I think that actually made a difference in the end.
There was a counter attack as well where they caught us out and Garner got back really quick in that right back position. It's another weird one with James Garner, because you felt like with James Garner in the middle, sometimes we don't look that strong. But then he did create a couple of good chances. He put the ball on the plate for Barry. He put another good cross in later on. And he was carving these things out, James Garner was. So he did look good, but then he does. Then you play him right back, and he looks good right back as well. This Everton team's really confusing at the minute, and I think that's what you're seeing today. And by the way, we always start by picking out the problems, and we end with celebrating the win. Of course, we will, but it's always massive that you do realise what's wrong as well, because I think we didn't play well first half, so we should call it out. But it feels like you watched us play not well today and win, which is incredible. That's what you want to do, but it wasn't a game where I think you're going to come on and do your match reaction, say everything was perfect, and we've got the answers and we've got the perfect team and the answers to everything. Because I don't think we have. There's a lot to learn yet. I think Moyes. If you only need to look at Moyes today on the sideline, he was not happy all game. He wasn't happy all game. He was moaning all game. He was shouting. And even the commentator says, like, towards the end when we come back and won, he says Everton have played better second half, but you wouldn't tell that by looking at David Moyes, because there was a lot David Moyes wasn't happy with. We've got a lot of new players, and there's a lot to learn in the pool. I don't think we've got the jigsaw's not put right yet, is it? We're going through the motions.
No. Well, we were saying last night. I was saying last night that we were mid-table after 6 games, and it wasn't. We didn't even seem to be in third gear. We barely were in second, to be honest. So it was good that we were at that stage, but we could obviously see that there were improvements to be made. And I still don't think we're there. We have halves, or we have half hours, which the whole game depends on for us. We can't do it consistently over a full game yet, or it doesn't seem to be anyway. So there's positives. There's positives to that.
I feel like I shouldn't say stuff, but then I am gonna say it just to be that devil of advocate. Diblin was a lot of money, wasn't he? Diblin was a lot of money. Barry was a lot of money. They are. There's a lot. Is it just the case that we've got them for the future? Because when Diblin's played a couple of times now, and he hasn't done it really. We have got AFCON coming up. It's going to be really interesting, because sometimes when we've played Diblin, it hasn't worked, and then we brought the big players on because it hasn't worked. When we've got AFCON, we are going to have to trust these players, ain't we, Paul? Do you think they're up to it?
Yeah, in time. Because who we're going to lose?
Why when Diblin's getting the ball, was it like you play it into him and it doesn't feel like he's going to bomb past players?
Yeah, I don't think he was playing. He wasn't playing as a. He didn't seem to be playing as a right winger today. He seemed very much, certainly when he was on, he seemed to be sort of a right midfielder. So he wasn't even receiving the ball sort of on the turn, or, sort of half that way, half that way. It was very much like he's got a defender at his back. And like you were saying, because of Palace's formation as well that they were playing, he didn't really have a lot of space. So it may be that, he plays again in another game, fine-tunes one of those 2 bits, and actually receives the ball like Ndiaye would receive the ball, possibly. But it was very tight. It was very tight for him to turn and do his best stuff, and his best stuff seems to be when he's on the run.
It's mad because Ndiaye don't work in the 10, does he? Like, it hasn't worked for him every time he's played the 10. Like, I honestly believe that probably Diblin would have played better that first half in the 10 and put Ndiaye back out in the right straight away, because it wasn't working. Because it didn't look like Diblin was effective down that right-hand side. I don't know. There's a lot to learn. There is a lot to learn. But we have got some breaking news, people. Well, it's not breaking news, but we have got some news. If I can see. We have got some news. news is that this man, Jack Grealish, got player of the match. And listening to him in the interview, he did say that he thought Warrington was insane. What a man he is, Jack Grealish. You know what I mean? To get man of the match and say he didn't deserve it. That's how much of a nice person he is. But yeah, he was man of the match and he scored the winner. We did say, Paul, didn't we, in the game that he was going to. Someone said, can you put videos up? We can't. We can only do pictures because of copyright. But so we did say we wanted him to score this game. It was the big talk when we did the scores that we wanted him to score, and he scored the winner. It's just, and I know we didn't play well, which we spoke about earlier on, rightly identified it, rightly want to get better at certain things. But at the end of the day, we didn't play well and we beat Crystal Palace, who were unbeaten this season, right? Let's get excited now because me and Paul said it. Everton, this is what we do. If we did it against, we've done it against many teams when they're on form or got a record. We stop it. We stop it. And I told the Crystal Palace fan, I know I was wrong with my score prediction, 4-1, but we played crap, so that's why it wasn't 4-1. But I said we'd end the run. I said we'd win. And Paul said we'd win as well. And we put the run to bed. And they played a shite team in Liverpool, and they beat them. Now they played the real big boys in Everton, and they couldn't beat us. And we've ended the run for them. We have. And that's fantastic, because let's not beat around the bush. No one else could do it. Could the Paul? No one else could do it. And we've done it.
Yeah. Well, 19 teams had tried. And then we came along.
And then the big boys, the dogs of war, come along and sorted them out. And that's what we do. And I do like that we didn't give up. That's one thing you've got to say, isn't it, Paul? Because shite first half.
Yeah.
But fair play. They come out second half. Clearly had the bollocking by David Moyes. Come out, dogs of war. Got the fans going as well, by the way. That Alcaraz, it only takes one moment. That Alcaraz moment when he come on, he ran past that player. And that's what you've got to do. The fans could see Alcaraz wanted it. And once the fans get something, a tackle or just a run past a player or do something out of the normal, fans get going. And they got going then. And that was it.
And that was the difference between the team that we've got now and the team that we've had before. Is that's why everyone was so crazy about Skillyman, because he was the only player who would be able to stride and run through a gap of 2 or 3 players. We hadn't had anyone like that for a while. So then when we get the likes of Alcaraz as well and Grealish, and all 3 of them were having goes of doing it, and Alcaraz and Grealish particularly did it in the second half. It just gives everyone a lift. And then you got the likes of Arubanum who's run 40 yards to bring everyone up the pitch, and we get a penalty because of it. So, it was that change. That was just, it was vital. It was absolutely vital.
Fair play to Arubanum as well. Like you say, come on. It was just because Michael Keane got injured, really, but come on. And he did well. Another player that I think deserves a bit of credit today, and I thought when we was crap first half, he was actually decent. I thought Mykolenko was really good. He was bombing it forward, Mykolenko was. Mm. And he was really like overlapping. Jack Grealish cut in sometimes when you watched it. And I think Mykolenko was doing everything he could to try and help Jack Grealish get in the middle and be more effective into that 10 position. But he was bombing it. What do you think? Mykolenko was decent, wasn't he? He's putting some shift in now, wasn't he?
Yeah, but again, I think that's the thing. Like anyone who's played as well, you'll know when you go to a higher level, then you lift yourself as well. That's why a lot of players don't want. When a lot of players get older, they often don't want to drop down a league or 2 because you sort of you play as good as the players that are around you. I know I wasn't going to show that, Lila, but oh god, he won't be. Can't live with him now.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. You know what I mean? Because I've got good competition in Jack Grealish. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I've got major competition in Jack Grealish. I've been training legs every day at the gym.
Can't see Dan's legs. That's the problem. That's the
problem.
Keeping
me on my toes. I'm not as big as this Italian. But yeah, he's he's doing everything, isn't he? He's making women fall in love with him, and he's doing it on the pitch, doing it off the
and he's
pitch.
play better around him.
Do you know what though? Another thing that I could go and crop you some videos where I told you I said this fairy tale. I could crop it up now. I could go and get you some videos when we were speaking in the transfer window before we even signed Jack Grealish, where I said Everton would be the perfect club for him. Everton fans would connect with him, and I did say there's a player in him still. And some people was unsure, saying the alcohol thing, this, that, and the other. And I said, trust me. If we get Jack Grealish, that man will spark back up. I said it, and I could crop it up, and I probably will at some point and put it as a short. But I said it would happen. I said the fairy tale would happen, and it's happening. You know, it is happening because he is a proper player. Jack Grealish is. And do you know where I said Elcrest come on with the passion? We like players with passion because it gets the fans going. Jack Grealish, not only is he fancy with his feet and all that lot, he is passionate as well. He gets a yellow card. He likes a bit of a fight, you know. He is, isn't he, Paul? He likes a head-to-head. He likes winding him up. He's my type of player. He's a passion player, Jack Grealish is. And he has got us going. And I think he's a fantastic player. He should be in the England squad. It's criminal that he isn't because he's different to anything that England have got, by the way. Do you know where England are looking for something sometimes to probably win a trophy? Or they're looking, he's different to what they've got. He should be in the England squad anyway. But not only is he fantastic for us and doing fantastic things, when you listen to him in the press conferences after, he is a nice person as well, isn't he, Paul? He says the right things, doesn't he? He's real. He ain't fake. He's real. You go and listen to him in the press now when he's talking. He's real. And I think a lot of our players are looking up to him, you know. I would be if I was playing with him. I think a lot of our players are thinking, you're the man. You tell us what to do and we'll follow you. You know what I mean? I think they like play. When we had James Rodriguez, they all said they wanted to play with James Rodriguez. They all, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin all said, we love playing with James Rodriguez. It's the same with Jack Grealish. Trust me, a lot of these lads know that Jack Grealish is the business and they fight for him. They do. And I think Jack Grealish...
Yeah. I also think Jack's, you can tell he's like everyone's mate, isn't he? You know, when he talks in interviews, he just talks as though he's talking to his mates, and everyone can kind of relate to that. It's good that he'll be helpful off the pitch as well, because unfortunately he can't play the next one because we're away at City. So that is a shame. But so he'll have a decent rest because international break and then City after that.
Because we're so excited and went through a few things. Njai penalty stepped up. I wasn't sure whether Njai, Grealish, or Beto was going to get it. He is good on penalty, isn't he, Paul?
And yeah. Thought he'd get. Yeah, thought it should have been him. Yeah, always would have been him. I think he just gives the eyes. Just gives the eyes, doesn't he? I'm surprised so many keepers fall for it, to be honest.
I think
he did it to Henderson.
Yeah, that keeper does make saves on penalties. By the way, he's a good goalkeeper. But Njai, you don't doubt him, and you think to yourself he's skillful, but can he actually score goals on penalties? And he can. By the way, he's insane. So fair play to Njai getting another goal. He is tallying the goals up as well, isn't he, Paul? Njai, I think I've got Njai. I think I've done well.
Well, that's a fair link way there.
I've done well. I was thinking this.
Bear with me, and I will. I'll get the current league table.
Is this me on a little bit of a comeback on the five-a-side competition, people? Because I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about that, to be honest. I think me, you, and my dad are cut adrift.
Really?
Two out of three of us are going to get relegated. Rod Ross is purposely rooted to the bottom, but I will. I'll gather it for you now.
It's so weird because, like, how is Michael Keane? I didn't think Michael Keane getting injured was ever possible. And now when he gets injured, we actually don't want him to get injured as well, which sounds mad. But he is playing well. He did play well today, to be fair, Michael Keane, but he did pick up a knock. I'm not sure how bad it is. I'm still there.
Yeah. Well, see, at least he's got a couple of weeks. At least he's got a couple of weeks. And what he would do. So, absolutely. Well, yeah, but you never know, actually. Might be back on the grass by the time international break's over. And hopefully Merlin will be in contention as well. So, yeah, there's a group of people who've got both Ndi and Grealish.
A joint top there, isn't he? James
So
Green says, I've got to be top. And he's joint, isn't he? A lot of
everybody. Everybody from 2 to 13. So, yeah, there's 11 people on 13 there. But it's going to take a monumental effort for me and you to get out of the relegation zone, mate, to be honest.
I thought I'd done well, but turns out, well, never give up. Rocky, I the Tiger. Can I change my picks? Can we change our players?
Well, I'll show you actually what picks people have got if you can't remember. So that's generally what people have. The biggest difference is if you're. That's
why. I was thinking I had Grealish and Njai, but I haven't. I've just got Grealish, haven't I?
Yeah.
That's
so we had one each today. I think the defenders could be where possibly where it changes a bit. If Keane or Tarkowski or O'Brien go on a bit of a run.
O'Brien was going to score today.
Wouldn't mind Coleman coming on. Garner Gay getting a few goals, or you never know, Rod, Ruben and Schmidt. Or Schmidt. But yeah, we shall see. So I think the defenders will be where it's won and lost.
Yeah, well, O'Brien, he did get a header on target today, just didn't get the power on it, but it was behind him. So O'Brien, he could be the answer. You know what I mean? For me, I'm agree. When O'Brien gets an hat trick, I'll be smashing it all.
Well, I mean, when we started the competition, did say as well that there would be a week in October that you could change one out and put one in. So I'll sort that in the next week or so. So
Alcaraz never plays, does he? So I'll get him out.
Well, there you go. Well, let's see. You never know. So I'll let everyone know about that. And if there's any transfers to be done, it means that you'll have October. You're going to have about 6 weeks of games. So the whole competition finishes at the end of November, and then we'll see who's top 10. If there is a few people on the same, then we will do a draw of the people who finish top, and that person will get the prize.
Do you know what will be a good one after this competition? Yellow cards competition. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Like we pick our players.
He's real.
Yeah, we pick our players, but our players we've got to pick a defender, a midfielder, and a striker for defender and midfielder probably for yellow cards. That'd be a good one. See who knows the yellow cards. You know what I mean? We seem to get a lot. We got a lot today, and Jai got a yellow card today. James Garner got a yellow card today. They had a few as well. Warrington, Muniz. I did say it'd be a bit of a feisty game, and it was. Quite a few tackles went in, didn't the Paul? Couple of dirty.
There was a few tasty ones. To be fair, I felt I think Wharton was probably justified in one or two of his tantrums. I think, but
that's why I say
what you get when you're home.
This is why I say it's hard, though. I think Alcaraz, he come on and did enough second half to warrant that he could start a game the way he turned it around when Alcaraz come on. But then I think Dewsbury was good as well. So what do you do? Because I don't feel that you can move one of them out to the wing. The only way that I could tick this box off, in my opinion, is if I put James Garner right back, put Dewsbury Hall with Garner Gay, and put Alcaraz in the 10. Is that possible to get Alcaraz in the team? I just want Alcaraz playing, but then I know Dewsbury Hall is class. I love Dewsbury Hall as well. It's a hard one, isn't it? How does Alcaraz get in the team? You feel harsh for him, don't you, a little bit? How does Alcaraz get in the team? Because he did well today.
That's what I mean. We've got 6 or 7 midfielders vying for 5 places. Really,
can't moan.
8 midfielders when Merlin comes in. So
we forget we've got It took like we can't moan because we always said we ain't got a big squad and that's where we struggled. So we can't moan because Moyes has got a very good hand, a big hand as well. But the Crystal Palace fan that was on the pre-match show last night, he was like, "I hope you don't play McNeil. He scores against us." And I forgot we'd even got McNeil. Like we've got McNeil as well. He gets forgotten about now, doesn't he, Paul? McNeil. Is he done now?
Yeah. Well, no. He's part of the squad. You've got to do good stuff in training. Chances are he's not going to get his chance unless there's injuries, but he can play left or right. So he's certainly he's still certainly part of the squad. But you got to do it in training, and then when you're given the chance, you got to do it. And then if we're not doing it, in the League Cup, that obviously changed. People got the chance, they didn't perform. So they've got to wait for their next chance, whenever that is.
Do you know that new beautiful stadium, the Hill Dickinson Stadium?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Is it lucky? Are we ever going to get it? Like, it isn't easy to do this, We all said, like, let's get into the new stadium. Can we actually win in it, or are we going to be shit in it? We are actually. We don't get beaten it, do we? We are actually good at the minute in this stadium. How many games is that now? We're beaten.
Well, we've had 4 games at home, have we? I think it's 4 home games
unbeaten in the new stadium. It's not. And one team we just played that's not been beat.
I mean, there is a rumor going round that we don't know the meaning of losing.
We can sing it in the Hill Dicky, mate. We can. I tell you, we can actually sing that song with pride in that stadium. So what I will say is, sing that song as much as you can until we actually do lose. Well, imagine if we didn't lose in it all season.
I mean, that would be.
Why not?
That'd be incredible.
Why not? Why not, people? Because I don't think we're playing that well at the minute, and we're still unbeaten in it. So imagine when we actually do start to put the pieces together, people.
Yeah.
Imagine when we do. Don't let this blow over your head, right? Crystal Palace are really good, and we've managed to beat them, and we didn't even play that well. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? That's a cracking result. And I feel with the bad results that we've had before that, where we withdrew when we should have won, I think that's put us back on track for having a good season now. I do. And it makes me excited now. It's a cracking 3 points, and we can actually have a good season now, can't we, Paul, with that? That's a good 3 points, that is. Really good 3 points. Has it phrase ball on that part?
Oh, very good. And especially when you've got international break coming, it's vital to have a bit of a morale boost.
Positive, and you took those 2 games up
a couple of weeks.
I
don't think they're that bad. I actually don't think they're that bad.
Glad I got a break.
I think they could be far worse. I tell you what, Spurs, you don't know who's going to turn up for Spurs. So that's going to be a Sunday 4:30. You got Sunderland on a Monday night up with the Mackhams. Then Fulham at home. United away is always a bit of a ball ache, but again, don't know what's going to turn up there. And then Newcastle at home, what looks like a Saturday evening 5:30. So yeah, there's tricky ones there, but I tell you what, we've got some decent home games to look forward to.
I'm ready, I'm ready. Because at the end of the day, if we was against Wolves who have lost every game, I'd be shitting myself because I'd think we will let them win. But I don't mind the hard games. You know what I mean? It pumps our players up. The bad thing is that I've just thought about in my head right now is that first game, Man City, this man isn't going to be able to play, is he? I just thought about that. That's a bit emotion, it. Let him play. I'll have to have a word with the Man City fans that we have on the channel, see if they can let Jack Grealish play that game. If we actually signed Jack Grealish, instead of loaning him, he would have loved playing against Man City, wouldn't he, to prove some of them lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll make the most of him. Make the most of him. I mean, you could see him doing really well in home games, and I mean, in those 6 games that I just showed there, in all your games, if you're getting an average of 2 points, Christ, you're well in Europe. If your season is 2-point average each time, so that's something to try. But unlikely that we would get that. Something to for.
What a man. Fans are just falling in love with him, ain't they? But what a player. Jack Grealish. And to get the winner as well. Look how happy he was there as well. He's been playing football all this time. Jack Grealish has won everything. And to see him that happy scoring that goal was nice. You know what I mean? He was proper happy to score that goal for us. And it shows he's got the love back for football. And Everton have got him that love back because we are the famous EFC. How could you not fall in love with us? People, that is the end of the show. I am going to drop the banner on. Last words, Paul?
No, I think it's been a decent weekend. A win, 3 points, can't argue with that. Looking quite happy where we are in the table at the moment. I think we all would have been cheerful with that at the start of the season after 7 games, 11 points. And everything's bright and rosy and it's been a massive improvement. So long may that continue. I'm just gutted that it's International Week coming up, that's all.
I've never felt more like singing the blues when Everton win and Liverpool lose, people. Just get that in your head. We can sing that this weekend. I've never felt more like singing the blues when Everton win and Liverpool lose. Oh, Everton, you got me singing the blues. Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea. And we did it. We beat the unbeatable. See you later, everyone. Have a boss one. Up the Toffers.
Have a good week, everybody.
We've been living in sin so long, all the feels are gone. Fella stopped me on the street last night, said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day, I'm right. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better.